This is Josh. I am so glad you are watching right now. Thank you. First off, I'd like to acknowledge myself. I'm just kidding. I feel so weird about having that picture here, but I would feel weirder not showing it off because my awesome friend Jalen Mack here in Winston-Salem painted that from a photo that Dusty Waring took of his PRS Angelus, I believe that model was, with me playing it, and it's just too cool. So it's in the video. Anyway, I'm here to talk about a set of pickups, DiMarzio Super Distortion, DiMarzio Super 2. These are covered, all right? My audio is straight to the camera, all right? Is what it is, so we all can skip all that. But I want to talk about these pickups because it's not that they haven't been talked about enough, but I don't think they've been talked about in the right ways so far. And the other big idea I want to put out here is really important, earth-changing for guitars is, I think we should put a lot less emphasis, this is putting it lightly, on the distinction between vintage sounding and modern sounding when it comes to pickups, all right? Because that amp right there, it doesn't matter what kind of pickup I put into it, it's gonna sound like a vintage kind of amp. And if you take some Engel whatever and play your, 1959 Burst with original PAFs in it, you're gonna hear a lot of Engel. You're gonna get the great characteristics of that guitar, but it's gonna have a very modern sound, all right? So let's play a little bit. I'm not trying to do every kind of sound ever in the history of mankind. I'm trying to be more straightforward than anything, as is my custom. But we're gonna go through and start on the neck pickup here, and this is a Super 2. Described often as a bright pickup. Not a good description. Dang, my amp's broken, man. Shit, excuse me. Fix it. Suggestion of what you listen for. Listen for attack and decay. Attack, front end, and decay. How's it go? Or in some cases, decay is like this. You get a little delay, that push. Playing with the fingers here. So I'll go ahead and jump to the chase. This pickup has a built-in compressor. That's what this pickup does. And that's about the resistance as far as I'm aware. Is it a bright pickup? I just don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's an accurate description of this pickup. It's not dark, but it's not bright. It's warm. It's warm and it's tight, and it is mid and upper mid focused with a very strong mid-range. It's a very mid-focused pickup. I have to scoop the mids on this, and I never do that. And the compressor thing is, you immediately get the whole note. There's no, clicky attack and then a little scoop and then a push from the pickup. It's boom, full on, full fire hose effect right from the beginning. So what that does, is that a modern sound? I mean, relative to guitar history, maybe, but what it is it makes it feel more like an organ. When you hit an organ, you get the full sound immediately, except for not immediately in mathematical terms, but to the ear, you get the full sound of the note, and it holds. So this is the pickup to make your neck pickup work like an organ. Right? It's your Nigel pickup right there. All right, let's move on. I'm going to go to the bridge all the way to the Super Distortion. And to hear them back and forth. Just from that, you hear the reason I bought this as a set. The Super Distortion is not my ideal bridge pickup for all time, and the Super 2 is definitely not my ideal neck pickup for all time if I had to pick pickups in a vacuum. Here's a second big idea. Don't choose your pickups in a vacuum. Don't do that. You need to think of them as a pair because they're going to work together. And here's what I love. Listen from the neck pickup to the bridge. All I'm going to do is what I just did from the neck on an open chord to the bridge. Listen what happens to the EQ as if you're listening to someone sing vowel sounds, right? I, O, A, E, I. I knew I forgot one. A, E, I, O. It'll be even easier when a dog's not scratching his ears. A, E, I, O. Hear the overtones. You can hear the harmonics of the D chord. All right, from the neck to the bridge, I'm going to give you the third in the chord too instead of just the power chord. You get the third on top so you hear that harmonic. Here's the neck, and I'm going to go to the bridge. You hear the shift. So instead of sounding like a night and day different pickup, which some people like, John Petrucci likes that, you know. If you're playing a variety of kind, that works really well if you're like in a world like him where you need like, I need a chug sound and I need a like flute sound. That's what you want. If you're playing more rounded styles of music, like most people, if you're gigging, you have to play more than one style of music. To me, you want something that represents different parts of one continuum, one sonic continuum, and that's why I went with this pair of pickups. They are excellent at what they do. They're not perfect for everything. If I did not have coil taps, I would not have gone with this set either, and I'll show you that here in a moment too. The coil tap sounds on these are great because you need a hot pickup to get a good coil tap sound. Not forever and always. There's no forevers. There's no exclusives, or that is not the right word. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's true in every circumstance. But as a rule, you need a hot pickup to give you a good coil tap sound. So we're going to go through that too. But let me give you a little bit more of the Super Distortion as is. Listen also for the attack in terms of hardness. To revisit that idea, a compressed pickup acts more like an organ, okay? Do you want to call that a more natural sound? You need to forget about that idea, all right? Because these aren't microphones. There's no such thing as a natural sounding pickup, unless it's a microphone. Unless you want to hear this amplified. Now, you might think that a low output pickup like a PAF or a humbucker from hell or a Duncan Jazz sounds more natural in that way. Hey man, you can't do that in here. Can't have that in the video. You can't do that. A jazz or something might sound more like this than a high output pickup, but it's more just about the amount of compression, and in that sense I mean how little does the note change from start to finish, and in terms of the variety of dynamics. Now let's get that myth out of the way. This idea that compressed pickups means they don't have dynamics. That's just not true. It's just not true. You have to be more in control of a compressed pickup, right? Now they're more forgiving in a way because they do compress, they squeeze, you get less increase in volume from a really loud, really hard strum, and you get less decrease in volume from a soft strum. So compressed pickups are forgiving in that way. But what that means is in order to exploit the dynamics of the pickup, what you have to do is to be able to show more variation in this range than you do in this range. It's the difference between a 250K pot and a 500K pot. It's not a perfect analogy, but in the 500K pot, you have a bigger range in which to make your difference. The 250K pot, which is their frequencies are somewhat compressed, right? You've got a ceiling on that master of high end. In that situation, you have a smaller range in which to express your dynamics. So it's a smoother continuum. I've talked a lot. You guys love that, don't you? Let's talk about cleaning up. perfect overdrive here. I can't really make this amp distort right now, but it's overdrive. By the way, you have to set your gain real low to make a Super Distortion not distort an amp. But that's a great clean sound. That's a great lightly overdriven, almost overdriven clean sound. So I can clean it up just with my picking, my dynamics. Hot pickups have no dynamics. There's another thing nobody talks about with Super Distortion, and they should, because you need to know about it. It's a honker. It's a honker, all right? So I sometimes wish there was less of that, which is why eventually I'm going to try the Super 2 in the bridge also, scoop out that middle situation a little bit at the low end. But the beauty of it is, if you like that, you can exploit it. Exploit the characteristics of your pickups. There I've got a trombone. So there you get closer to a Jacko, kind of like really honky kind of trombone sound. I hate Jacko's tone. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Who else does that remind you of? Any of you fusion guys? For better or for worse, John Scofield, incredibly influential in the world of tone, especially for fusion-y players. And what does he use? He uses a hot pickup, Super 70s, and some derivatives of Super 70s. It's a hot pickup that's very much like a Super Distortion. And he plays back here. Now I might roll that volume knob down a bit. Split coils. We need to talk about split coils. So, neck pickup. Important to note, I have the cable exit pointed up on both of these pickups, which means in the case of DiMarzio's wired normal like, that your bridge facing coil is active. So I have bridge facing coil here, bridge facing coil here. Neck pickup. It's not going to get you to a Strat territory, but it gives you a great usable sound. And hey, what more do you want out of Paul Reed Smith? You know, it's not a Strat. Now you could add something a little high end on it. To try and get a little more of the high end characteristic of the split coil here. Right? But still, it's just too much mid-range, too much power to get that kind of sound. Now, middle position is something cool. Let me tell you, I'm losing my switch. I'm losing my switch, man. Middle position is right cool. We got these two here. So, if I went any further apart, I'd get something closer to a telly sound, but it's still close. more spanky. Now I can't do this demo, review, whatever, it's not a review. I can't do it without talking about the most famous Super Distortion, Super D. It always sounds weird when you say it, like it sounds like talking about something different. Super 2 player ever, and I'm talking about, of course, Garcia, right? And he exploited the split coil sounds all the time. That's mostly what he did with these, and his was a dual sound, right? Because he used parallel and split coil sounds. But then he went to the Super 2 from like 84 on. He used Super 2 in the bridge also. So listen to this. Listen to that. Bridge pickup. Again, everything has to be taken in context, the whole picture. I would rather hear this coil on its own than this coil on its own. But I'd rather hear this coil when it's with this pickup than this one. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because when I got the middle position, I need to get all the bite possible out of the bridge pickup. I really want that. When I go here, maybe I'd like a little less bite, but a little more volume. The further away from the bridge, the more volume you get, just so you know. That still sounds good, man, because this pickup is hot enough that even in this position, like a JB, I'm not, you know, I don't discriminate, yes I do, when it comes to pickups. But the JB does the same thing. Sounds great with the split coil here because it's hot enough. It's got enough resistance to give you the compression, so it sounds really nice. It don't just die like injured bird. You know, I went from Italian to, you know, Russian there. Back to the honky tonk. And there. It can be funky. Video. If you're using coil taps, are you using coil taps? If you want to use them and you want to use them, like have them sound good, have them sound usable, you need to think when you're buying a set of pickups that it has to run 2 different races, okay? You're going to need a pickup set that is hotter than what you would buy if you were not splitting coils. Can we get that? Can y'all accept this? I had so many points, I can't remember them all. Nobody can. Think about the pickup set as a unit. They need to speak. They need to be in conversation with each other, whatever that means for you. Somewhere in the middle of there, I talked about you need hot pickups to split coils, and along that same line, Oh yeah, also vintage and modern, not so applicable when it comes to pickups. That's more of an amp term in my mind. And then lastly, when you're buying pickups for your coil tappable guitar and you actually intend to use those sounds like Jerry Garcia does, you need to think these pickups need to do 2 races. They need to run 2 different races. They gotta play 2 different games, humbucking and coil tap game. And you can get a great coil tap game with a really good humbucker game without sacrificing too much. If you want your perfect humbucker game, which probably needs to be lower output, and you want great single coil action, it ain't gonna happen. Prove me wrong. Comment, all right? Y'all watch this whole video, you crazy. You as crazy as me watching Anderton's videos for like 45 minutes. Nuts, insane. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, DiMarzio, for making these great products. And if you watch this in the daytime, have a great day. I am really out of it, and it is awesome. You should enjoy it, and you should be as weird as me in your way, okay? And this guitar just keeps growing. Things get stranger all the time, and it just crowded me out. And this guitar's real lives.